Nice to have another. Hi, everybody. It's nice to have another webinar. This is, I believe, our number 8, AEC Without Borders, and specifically leveraging Latin America's skilled workforce. And this enables scalable, managed offshore teams through ADDMORE Services without increasing your fixed overhead. So we'll move forward. So the speakers today are obviously myself. I'm the president and managing member of ADDMORE Services. I'm also the author of the book Offshore Outsourcing, and I'm currently working on a new book for intelligent resourcing. Joining me is Marcus, who is our talent manager based in Argentina. Welcome to have you on board today, Marcus.
Thank you so much, Colin. It's going to be a pleasure to talk with you and participate in this amazing opportunity.
Yeah, I must say I'm so blessed to have Marcus on my team. We communicate regularly. He's a very efficient and professional person, and once we have done the initial introductions, Marcus is the person that will be initially client facing and with candidates from Latin America, offering any support and assistance, and he is a great value to the company and to our clients. Okay, so we'll move forward into our discussions for the day. So a little bit about my company, ADDMORE Services. As it says on the screen, I mean, we are a bespoke business solution. And although we focus on offshore outsourcing, which we both project-based, which are for where we execute the work for contractors, architects, engineers, we also are using intelligent resourcing to provide professional talent to augment and integrate into people's companies. We have talent, and we initially started this with my core team in the Philippines. But for the USA, where clients, particularly working with a lot of architects, where we moved away from just executing work, where we can do that in the Philippines, we can do it anywhere, really. I mean, they just want us to deliver a finished product for agreed price and terms. But with the professional talent from the Philippines to the USA, it would mean that the Philippine teams have to work the graveyard shift at night to be able to provide people in the USA time zones. Where from Latin America, it's very easy. The time zones are pretty much aligned, maybe 1 or 2 hours difference, especially where Marcus is in Argentina. Although we offer people from all over Latin America, Argentina is one of our core places, as is Colombia. But Argentina in particular has a very skilled professional workforce, and Marcus is extremely well tapped into the talent pool there and can provide people to help us whenever we need it. So the Filipinos working night shift, for our more senior people, which we always were providing, it's very hard to get a guy with a degree and a master's and 15 years experience to work night shift. So we were finding it difficult to get the right caliber of people for the elite service. We have 3 cores of professional talent. We have the Smart Assist, where they're 1 to 5 years basically out of university, and they need more guidance, more mentoring. And then we have the 5 years up to say 10 years, where they're more independent and more experienced. And then we have our elite teams, where they're over 10 years, probably got a master's, very experienced, work independently, can lead a team, and definitely have a USA or relevant country experience. So I've got over 40 years. In fact, to be actually correct, this September 2025 was my 50th year in construction. And I know I look too young, but that's I wish, but that's the truth. 50 years I've been doing building work all around the world from a field engineer to a project manager to a chief operating officer to CEO. So from field to boardroom, I've been through all the different stages, and a lot of the key people, especially in the Philippines, have been working with me over 20 years. And so yeah, that's it. So we really empower professionals and deliver excellence, both through offshore outsourcing, and what we're now doing is in our ADDMORE Collective, we have a relationship with freelance professionals, architects, project managers, quantity surveyors, estimators in the USA and other countries who will be our local connection. If we have a group and our client prefers to have somebody that they can coordinate the works offshore with, so we can provide a local contact with local experience with the offshore manpower. So that's been working very well and being well received in the market. And we're always looking for new professionals who can join our network. And we also can support them, because some of these professionals are small businesses that cannot expand themselves because they just don't have the manpower. So we can help them also grow their business. It's a two-way street. So it's good for clients and it's good for the individual freelancers. So that's where we are with an overview of what we're doing right now. So we'll move forward to the next slide. So we're moving forward. Eventually we'll get there. Okay, the AEC Talent Challenge. I think maybe, well, I'll explain this a little bit and we'll bring Marcus in just a bit further on. The AEC industry is evolving rapidly, as is everything, especially with AI involved. But the talent supply really isn't keeping pace. And even with AI, you need people. So let's take a closer look at these challenges. There is a shortage of skilled professionals globally. That's documented, recorded by all the major associations in the industry. And it's a growing problem. So, but certainly like in the USA where I'm living, there are different states where they are really suffering with a shortage of skilled people. If they don't work remotely, they just don't have the manpower to do the projects in hand. There is, like in new technology, with that comes complexity. So there is rising project complexity, and deadlines don't change. If anything, they get reduced. So there is always that pressure. On top of that, there is always a pressure to reduce costs generally, without any compromising of quality, obviously. And there's a need for a flexible, scalable workforce models, and that's what we provide with our where we execute project-specific scopes of work, or we augment teams with our professional offshore talent and integrate them into our clients' workforce. So I think that will cover that for now. But it is a growing problem, really. Okay, I think I'll leave this to Marcus. Why Latin America, Marcus?
Thank you so much, Colin, for this opportunity to talk with you all, and welcome to everyone. I always say that Latin America is a special region. There are a lot of reasons. I was working in the Latin American market and also working with North American firms for years. And I am sure when I say that Latin America is a special region, there are so many reasons because location matters. There are so many reasons because Latin America is important. We have highlighted a couple of options because Latin America is an important option to rethink the creation and the building of AEC teams. Here in Latin America, we have strong technical education and engineering talent. We are always looking for new opportunities. Here, the people in Latin America are understanding that if they are apply for opportunities on the United States, on the United States market, they're going to find new opportunities to grow. And that's the reason that here in Latin America, we have a high English proficiency. We're always studying and learning new things and new opportunities to find great opportunities. And that's the reason that we have cultural compatibility. We are always understanding the companies in the United States. And the most important reason, in my opinion, and obviously, is that we are cost effective compared to local hiring.
Yes. And it's cost effective, but there's no loss of quality. That's the important thing. I think that I've been so impressed. I mean, I was strongly a supporter of the Philippines. Now, I worked in Dubai for 20 years. I worked with a lot of Indian companies. I was the only European in a Indian-owned company in Dubai when I was working building a hotel or shopping center. I was just me and 3,000 Tamil Nadu Indians. I know the Indian market well. I lived in Mumbai for a year working for Vijay Mallya on a project that we did for them in the Raymond Group. And when I had to start my business, I had a lot of contacts for India, but the Philippines attracted me initially because one, I'm married to a Filipino lady, that helps, and I have my brother-in-law there. I lived in Manila for 5 years, so I know. I lived only in India for a year, but I know the market there, and I worked with a lot of Indians for 20 years. But in the Philippines, I lived there for 5 years. My wife's from there. My two brother-in-laws are civil engineers. One of them is running the technical side for me in the Philippines. But when I started doing more initially, we were doing a lot of work in the Middle East, where I worked for 20 years. I have a lot of contacts. I'm an Australian citizen. We're doing a lot of work there. I happen to also be a British and UK citizen, and we were doing a lot of work there. As the American market opened up for me, a lot of people were saying, if you're going to go from the executing the work to augmenting the teams, that you need to really look at Latin America.
Mhm.
So my first client was in Miami, and they wanted 6 Revit architects. And I approached some people, a lady I knew as a designer in Latin America, and she was helping me before Marcus came on board. And she did a good job, and we got some good people, and it really worked well. And I was highly impressed with the level of English proficiency. Many candidates having USA remote experience already, so we're familiar with codes and regulations and that type of thing. Good skill sets in the softwares that are required by most of the architectural and interior design companies these days. So Latin America has really impressed me, and I do intend to go down there and maybe meet up with Marcus next year in Cordoba, where is his home area, and I want to develop it because there is such an untapped talent pool there that for America, where especially for augmenting teams from professional talent, where people to work on the same time zone so they can join meetings, be with their clients or even just internal team meetings and whatever workshops. It just works so well. We have a very strong way of working remotely. Our people are onboarded extremely well by Marcus, and he has a very good support network to them. So they can always go back to him so that they're not troubling the client. First, they will go back to Marcus, and we take care of all the compliance, all the payments, all the local regulations. Marcus and I and the team we have between us, we deal with that. And Marcus is not alone. We have a team that supports him in HR. And we're going to grow that also more so in Latin America, I think, in time. So I've been highly impressed by specifically Argentina. I mean, there is advantages with a country like Colombia. I think due to the nature of the market there and the political environment, people are more all-rounded in Colombia because they've had to do everything. There's not such a where in Argentina it's more the traditional professional, disciplines of construction. So you have a 3D modeler, you have an architect, you have interior designer. Where in Colombia, I'm finding that they have more all-round experience, which can suit some smaller companies. So that's also good for us to tap into. But from Argentina, if you want Revit architects, if you want 3D modelers, you want that type of professional, definitely it's a source where we can find. It normally takes us, I think Marks would agree, within 2 weeks, we can find most people, unless it's an unusual requirement of some software that's not standard. If it's Revit architects, if you tell us which of the tiers you want, obviously there is a price difference between a Smart Assist, Core, and an Elite. And it runs from maybe at the minimum $13 an hour to the maximum at probably $29 an hour. But that would be the average sort of rate that we're charged. Most of the elite people are being billed these days between $23 to $25 an hour. You're getting a guy with 10 to 15 years experience, a degree, highly educated, highly professional, is still over half the price of what you'd pay in the USA. And they're available. They're the thing that I really notice most in Latin America. They want to work. They're hardworking. They seem to be very loyal to the job, very conscientious of the work. And as long as they're treated with respect and you provide them with what they need to do their job and you involve them, they become very strong components of the business, to the point that most of the people that I've taken on from Latin America and employed into companies initially 3 months, because 3 months is, we look for 3 months as a minimum at the beginning. Because if for us to go out, recruit the people, find them and hire them just for a month's work, it's not really making that much sense. We can do 2 months sometimes. It depends. If it's a repeat client, of course, we'd find somebody for a month and we'll help them. But for somebody brand new to us, probably 3 months is probably the minimum we require. To be fair to the people that we're hiring, they need some continuity of work as well. But everybody I took on for 3 months so far are currently 6 months, 9 months, a year still with the companies, and they're on just an automatic extension every 3 months. Of which at any time the company can give us notice, as long as they give me a week's notice that things have changed and they want to stop, so I can give my people a week's notice, then that's fine. And also, I need the week's notice because I won't just let these people go. When they're good, we're immediately going to try and find other work for those people so that they can stay with the company and we have continuity of people and they get continuity of work. So this is how it's working with us in Latin America. And I think why Latin America? All of what Marcus said, and extremely, if you're in the USA, it's a no-brainer. You're getting professional people and you're getting them at half the price, no compromise on quality. You're not increasing your fixed overhead. It's just a project expense. It's scalable. You can have more people, less people, or no people. It really makes sense. Intelligent resourcing. That's why it's named that way. Okay, that's my little bit on that. So for me, rethinking how we build AEC teams. Again, with complex projects, the global talent shortage, and it's not just in America. It's not just in the UK. The UK is really struggling. I'm also involved with another company in South Africa and UK who recruit workers to us, to the UK, and I mean bricklayers, carpenters, and I can't believe that they're taking from Africa bricklayers and carpenters to the UK. That's how short they are of skilled labour. Australia, the same. They're taking people from Philippines every day of the week, and the government's even changed the visa system to make it easier to get people into the country, because there is a huge skill shortage in all these countries, from not just from the professional level down to the workers. So the traditional hiring models, in my opinion, are no longer enough. And something that everybody who's listening to this webinar today or in the future, and they listen to this clip, please think of this. When you're hiring a recruitment company, they are charging you a fee, maybe equivalent of 1 month of the person's salary. You're going to pay that person. When you engage us, Marcus and I, we don't bill you anything for the recruitment. It's included. That's part of our service. You only pay a monthly fee for the person, which is all noted up front, and there is no hidden fees, no like suddenly, oh wait, well that's 200 for this and 500 for that. Fee we propose to you, which is based on the hourly rates depending on their experience per the tiers of qualifications. That's what you pay. No more, no less. So you're saving recruitment fee. I mean, that's a no-brainer in itself. I mean, I know when I was in Dubai and I was recruiting, we were doing a lot of projects. I was continually recruiting from the UK. The annual cost of fees to recruiters was enormous. I think that there is obviously a market for being a recruiter for certain strategic roles, but where you're just growing your team, not only with us, we provide our own software, our own, unless it's something that's a very specific request from the client. We provide the hardware, the software, so you don't have to provide office space, car parking, HR benefits, 401ks, any of that. And at the end of when you want to let the people go, with us, you just need a week's notice. You're not dealing with a lot of complicated labor laws, and you're not left with computers and softwares that you've got nobody to use. It really makes sense to rethink how you build your AEC team. You need your core people, your strategic people. Absolutely, I agree. But to grow the business, intelligent resourcing, that's where you need to be thinking, really. So flexible offshore solutions to fit your workflow. Well, that's the beauty with ADDMORE Services is it's like a buffet. You can pick and choose. If you want an a la carte menu, we can give you that. But you can pick and choose. You want a smart assist level. You want a graduate just 4 years experience. You want to mentor him. You want to direct him. You want him just to be like an assistant. It's fantastic for assistants. If you're an architect and you're wasting time on a lot of tedious documentation, get a smart assist. Pay $14, $15 an hour. And you have to accept that you're going to guide the guy a little bit more, but you don't have to pay $25. If you want somebody to be a Revit architect, that you can add architects into your team, maybe the core level where you need production people who can get on and do the job under direction. And then if you really need, some key guys to lead teams, or, it's large, mega complicated projects, you need the elite level people, then you can do that. So you can choose. You can have one elite guy with three of the you can have one elite guy with three of the core guys and just one smart assist. You can mix and match it how you want. You can have an onshore guy from the ADDMORE collective of professional freelancers if you need it, or if you don't need that and you've got a guy in house, you can use him. So how much it costs or doesn't cost is up to you. Even to the point that if you decide, okay, we do a lot of 3D modeling and a lot of rendering, I want to do that offshore completely. We can set up a professional offshore division for you, which we call a pod. You don't have to rent an office space. You don't have to go through all the red tape, which is not easy when you go to another country. And I've done it. I've set up my companies in the Philippines. It's not easy and I've set up companies in Africa as well. It's not easy to go through the red tape, the bureaucracy, and like here in the States, you can set up a business and probably be up and running within 5 days. I can tell you now in the Philippines, you're looking at minimum 6 months. Just after the COVID, it was taking nearly a year to get companies up and running. And to close a business in the Philippines will take a minimum 1 year through so many different bureaucracies and things that you have to deal with. So you don't have to deal with any of that. You can just say, okay, I want a team. I want 2 3D modelers. I want a renderer. I want a graphics guy. Whatever it is you need for your team, we can put it together. When you've got your pod of that division dedicated to you, they're based offshore, but they're part of your team. And one of them can be, again, you can have an onshore professional from us be the coordinator with your team, or your internal staff can be the coordinator with that team, and they just report in and work as your own staff do every day of the week. There are so many combinations of work that we've tried to do it to fit, because we work from the small builder to a medium-sized builders to the nationwide general contractors that would be known to everybody. So we have to be flexible, because what is required from a multinational general contractor is very different from a small local builder. Our flexibility that we offer provides us ability to meet any of those requirements from any of those categories. And that's, I think, what separates us from other companies. Also, what separates us from other companies, I am the owner, I am the founder, I'm 50 years in construction, I'm a quantity surveyor, I'm a qualified chartered construction manager, and I am also a chartered builder with the Chartered Institute of Building in the UK. I am also a member of the Professional Institute of Interior Designers, the Institute of International Arbitrators. I know construction. You're talking to construction people. As I said, we've seen it from the field to the boardroom. We are not HR people trying to jump on something they see a way to make a quick buck. We're not here for the quick buck. We're here to make long-term relationships, build trusted partnerships, and we're not trying to be a 5,000 person BPO company. We're quite happy to be in the smaller range of 150, 200 people, and that is enough because our focus is and always will be on service to our clients, quality of work. And I don't want to grow the company to a scale where we just become another one of those BPO, sending out CVs that we don't know. Everybody in my company, I know them personally. I've interviewed them. I've talked to them. Marcus does. So that's what you get with us. You get that more personal, hands-on from all the team, and we are an AEC team. We understand when you're talking to us. I mean, I was talking to one of the competitors the other day, and they're starting to collaborate with us on different things. And we're talking about quantity survey, and I mentioned WIP. I said, "Oh, yeah, we need some really good guys. We're having some troubles with one of my clients. They want some contract administration, and they must be very experienced with WIP." They had no clue what WIP meant. If you don't know what WIP means, if you don't understand the industry terminology, work in progress, if you're a quantity surveyor, if you don't understand that, you shouldn't be selling to your people to a builder, because all you're doing is you're just being a broker. We're not just a broker. We're involved from your request for somebody, and all the time they're working with you, we remain available to support you. Marcus is there for the people all the time. If you ask him to join a meeting for any clarification, he's always available. I'm available, and we have other team members who can be available. So that's what you get with ADDMORE Services. Okay, so we've covered a little bit of this already, but professional offshore talent services is what we've just been discussing and what I've just been mentioning. Very quickly, I mean, it says anybody who's on the meeting will get this deck, and you'll be able to follow these slides as well. And if somebody emails in when they hear one of our clips on social media, we can release a copy of the webinar. Actually, the webinar, we will release some clips on social media, then eventually it'll be released on YouTube. But it's a fully managed offshore teams aligned to your goals. Managed being the key word. I'm involved, Mark's involved, other people are involved. You don't just be given somebody and then we disappear, we've taken a fee and we're gone. We're there. We're there to help you. When we're listening to what you want, I understand construction. Listen carefully. What is it you're looking for? So I may have somebody in my talent pool that can meet that. And if we don't, we will recruit and we'll get people in front of you that meet what you've requested. So we really offer an excellent recruitment process as well. Because for me, I've got to give you what you want so that you're going to be happy. So you're going to continue, hopefully extend them. And that's how we're going to start developing our relationship and a trusted partnership. That's the basis of how we work. The hiring, the onboarding, the supervision and performance for Latin America, Marcus does an outstanding job. A lot of people can be unhappy when they join different companies regarding how onboarding is handled. I've got to say, and not just because it's my company, but because of people like Marcus in the Philippines, Len in the Philippines, and Kamo in South Africa, because of the team of people I've got, that they do a fantastic job, and all the people feel supported. If you go to LinkedIn recently, we've been releasing some of the testimonials from our people. All of them are saying how happy they've been with being on board and being a member, in the communication and feeling involved. And it is a skill that not everybody has, to remotely make people feel part of a company and not just an individual that's talking to one or two of us. We involve them with WhatsApp groups, social interaction features, special party nights on Zoom, webinars. We get them involved, and we know how to do it. We've developed from the COVID era to working to a very successful business model. The days of being required to be in the office, even with AutoCAD, where we're having to use like XREFs, where having a server and all your drafters in one room was a big advantage with a server. But we found a workaround how to get around that and create a way that you still use XREF and still distribute it to your team. And that's working fantastic. And even if the people are working all over the country, it's working extremely well. So we've got our system in place of how things work, and we're only improving on it all the time. Quality assurance, well, we're currently going through the ISO 9001 2015 certification process. We should hopefully get that, I'm hoping by March, April next year. So we've been updating all our workflow processes, documenting them. We're very much focused on quality. In our CAD teams, we employ like senior CAD QC, rather, to oversee drawings. We do everything in our power to ensure the quality of the work that we're going to be delivering to our clients. Yeah, so the clients that we work for can focus on the results. We will handle the operational work that they're assigned to us. And it's ideal for companies who are seeking consistency and minimal management overhead. I mean, our people, as I said, are a general expense, a project expense. They are not a fixed overhead. It's scalable. We can increase people, we can decrease people, we can stop work with a week's notice. It really is, I've said it a few times through this meeting, but it is a no-brainer. It is intelligent resourcing. Okay, would you like to run through this, Marcus?
For sure. Thank you so much, Colin. And I want to say that I support all your words. And I believe it's important rethinking how we build our AEC teams here in Latin America. As I said, Latin America has different reasons for hiring people or excellence candidates and for building your teams with Latin American talent. We have prepared three talent tiers for precision and performance. We are offering elite professional talents. I mean, senior professionals, senior candidates with 10 years of specialized experience. They are candidates ideal for leadership roles, for client facing functions, strategic project delivery. They are seasoned candidates with a lot of experience, people who understand the market and they know how to facilitate to building the project and with great opportunities to find the best way for offering different solutions. In my experience, hiring elite professional talents is a great opportunity, specifically for leadership roles and for fostering your projects. Also, we are offering core professional talents. We mean experienced professional with over 5 years of industry experience. They operate under graduate and guidance seasoned team leaders to ensure quality and seamless executions. In my opinion, hiring core professional talents is a great opportunity to work under the guidance of seniors, elite professional talents. It is a great opportunity to build a smart team. This is my opinion about elite professionals and core professional talents. I don't know if you want to add something, Colin, but
No, I 100% agree with what you're saying here so far. It's good.
And as I Colin was saying, we're offering smart assist people with 1 to 5 years of experience. They're ideal for firms seeking cost-effective assistance and repetitive tasks, basically. Uh, this is a great opportunity. I believe hiring smart assist candidates, they are always willing to help. They are always willing to learn and willing to give their best.
Okay. I'd like to mention on that, Marcus, that the smart assist, for people not to get confused, this is not virtual assistants. This is not, there's these companies from the Philippines, India, everywhere offering VAs. These are not to be confused, even though they are, well, it could be a virtual assistant. They are not. They are graduates, architects, engineers, quantity surveyors who have got 1 or more years experience after leaving university. They are the up and coming future of the industry. They are not there to do uh, fill in your calendar and make telephone calls for your travel arrangements. They're not that type of assistant. These are people who can help you with contract documentation, the more tedious things that you don't want to get a guy who's got 15, 20 years experience producing scheduling, door schedules, hardware schedules, finishing schedules. They are a smart assistant, but they are graduates in one of the professions related to our industry, not a general secretarial background person. And I don't want people to get confused with that. Smart assist is a professional person, just with less experience. That's all.
Exactly.
Right. So how do we make it work? From the recruitment, the onboarding, ongoing. Well, we handle all the heavy lifting. I would say Marcus handles most of the heavy lifting for Latin America. But so your team can hit the ground running. And the way we do it, we have a very thorough process. Marcus knows it off by heart. And how to source the people. We have a very clear vetting process. We have quite a lot of tests, depending on the roles. Like if it's for a quantity surveyor, we'll make sure if they say they can do Excel, they have to do Excel tests. So we know, are they beginner? Are they intermediate? Are they advanced? Not what they tell me, what they prove to me on the test. So if it's a Revit architect, they will have to do a Revit test. If it's a 3D modeler, they'll have to model something for us. We have all the portfolios, but we want to be sure. Portfolios can be compiled by a lot of people from a lot of different experience, and it may not always be the candidates. We do that deep search to make sure that you're not getting those candidates. The candidates you get are the people who've done portfolios you're seeing are the work of the person who's applying for the job. We do all of that in our vetting process, and Marcus is very heavily involved in that. With the onboarding and any cultural alignment, Marcus is more than equipped. He knows how to onboard Latin American people and the cultural way that what they're looking for out of working arrangement. And he also understands the Northern American culture, and he makes sure that the alignment is there. And especially, but a lot of the people we have worked in the USA at some point. But Marcus is for Latin America in particular, he makes sure that the cultures are aligned and that there's no misunderstandings and everything's clear up front. And we've had absolutely no problem with that. One of the things we do, which I think has been a big help to a lot of clients, when Marcus and I have been through our sourcing and vetting process, I'll approve candidates. Normally when he's selected the people, we're in total agreement on that. And then what we get the person to do is a 2-minute video self-interview. The reason we do this is we send the CV, resume, a proposal to the client with maybe 3-4 people with their resume, with their portfolio, and then we attach the video. Why the video? Well, people like to see who they're going to be working with. And, I might think, I think Marcus, I understand him perfectly well and clearly, but another person, if he thinks Marcus is too accented for him because of his personal ear and his personal way, then he might like one of the other candidates who may speak more clearly to his personal preference. So they can see what the person looks like, what do they sound like, and then from that selection, then he interviews the people that he's already, he already in his mind has selected people, but then he can go to the real, one-on-one interview. Marcus will always attend those interviews just to be there to support the people and make sure anything that needs clarification can be provided immediately. And normally when we put a proposal forward today, I would say, Marcus, that 99.99% somebody is approved by the clients that we're putting forward. We've done our due diligence to find the right candidate. We've tested them properly, and we've presented their video, and they've selected who they want, and then they go on to engage with the person and with us. So the IT setup and infrastructure we have is very unique because it's the remote global basis. So we do have an IT team that's globally that works from remote, and we have a very good system of sharing information with MS Teams, and we use SharePoint, and we DocuSign and Dropbox. There's a whole process of things. There's not just one platform that, unfortunately, that does it all yet, but probably will be as time goes on. But we have a very well streamlined for our company, and as we're part of our ISO, that's quite apparent when we're going through it, that how it works, it flows well. So the IT setup and cybersecurity is very important to us. We even we are offering to certain clients, if they don't have their own portal and they're concerned about just open email, we are happy to provide portals that we can recommend, which are low cost. But the only problem with those, which I find some people want and others don't, is you have to have a password to gain access to the portal to go in and look for your messages. You'll get a prompt saying you've got a message, but then you've got to go in, enter a password, and gain access. Now, it does protect sensitive documentation. That's why a lot of accountancy CPAs use it a lot. We're willing and used to using that. We were going to apply it generally as a standard, but some people, the smaller businesses we deal with, didn't want to have to keep remembering passwords and some other things. So we've made it now. It's if a company hasn't got one and they want us to set one up, we can recommend it, and it is quite a minimal cost. But there is that factor. The same with the multiple factor authentication. We do that a lot. So it just means there's a lot of passwords get involved. But if you want the security, you need it. We receive ourselves every day phishing attempts. We've had people try to do spoof domain on us, try to divert payments from us. Cybersecurity is really important. I was at a conference in Vegas last week, and I met a company there who specializes in some of this. I'm just waiting for their information now. We're also looking at ways to better protect our own data, our clients' data, but everything we use is encrypted, and the only thing that we don't offer as standard is the portal, but we're willing to do it, and we can do that. In terms of ongoing support and performance monitoring, we have our own KPIs that Marcus monitors with the people. We will, every 3 months, we will, or more regularly if needed, Marcus is in touch with the client if there's any causes for concern, whether it be from a timekeeping or from maybe some errors. It depends. But so far, we've had no issues with timekeeping and nothing of problems with errors that has been raised to our attention anyway. So it's working. I think the extensive work we do up front, which puts a lot on us, if nobody then hires them, it's a lot of time that we've expended. But if they do hire them, the effort pays off because they're the right people for the right client. We make sure the match is good. I think that's paying off. But it is a lot of work for which we don't charge. And I don't intend to charge for it going forward. That's part of the service. Recruitment is free. That's it. Marcus, would you like to run through that?
For sure. Thank you so much. And I support your words, Colin. I want to say that here at ADDMORE Services, we had a really solid end-to-end 360 recruitment process from sourcing to the onboarding side of things. So getting started with ADDMORE, we have streamlined the process to make onboarding fast, efficient, and tailored to your needs. We are always looking to help you to build the smarter AEC team as it is possible. Here's what the first few steps look like. First of all, discovery and consultation. We are trying to understand what are your needs and how we can collaborate with you to find the best candidate for building your AEC team. The second side, we are working with talent matching and onboarding. As Colin said, we have a solid recruitment process, so we will find the best candidate as it is possible for you with the correct talent matching and onboarding. For sure, we are going to be helping this new employee after the hiring. We are going to be helping him to understand the culture of your company and how to collaborate with you efficiently. This is the second thing. In the next step, this is how you can expect in your first 90 days. We are understanding what are your expectations and what you can expect about our company in the first 19 days. And finally, we work with support and communication tools. We have different channels and communication tools to help you to build your AEC team.
Yes. Yeah, our team members, in the first 90 days, we also talk to you about job costing. So the timesheets that we provide can be just very simple, like 8 hours a day or whatever it is. The agreement is like 9 hours and an hour for lunch, whatever. Or you want very detailed to know that from this time to this time you're working on which job, which task, multiple jobs maybe in the day, so you can have abstract the hours to each job, for your own job costing purposes. If that's the requirement, we are more than used to doing that. I understand that being a quantity surveyor, job costing is important. We have our format to present to you in detail so that you can abstract. So for your own job costing from our weekly trackers, so that's in place as well. So that's part of the support that we provide, and understanding the AEC industry and what is a standard requirement as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so we've both been speaking a little bit, me more than enough, I think. So, if anybody is on the line now, they can ask questions. Now's the time. If not, this recording and the slides will be available by request. You can email me or contact Marcus. But the video will be up on YouTube within a week or two, I think. But if you want it, just contact me on LinkedIn or Marcus, and we'll be more than happy to send you a copy. So if anybody's out there in the chat box, feel free to type your questions now. If there is not people attending today, or people that registered and couldn't attend the meeting, I'm more than happy to receive emails after this today, and we'll always try to help. We have no problem with investing time in helping people make the right decision, working with us. That's why it is intelligent resourcing. We don't expect you to just come in, talk to me for 5 minutes and employ 10 architects. No, we understand it's a big commitment, it's a big decision. You need to have a trusted partnership, and that can be 1 phone call, 5 phone calls. We understand that's not a problem. You need questions and you want us to clarify things before you're committed. We have no problem with doing that up front, because we're very open, we're very transparent, and we're happy to communicate. So if nobody's, I don't think anybody is actually asking any questions right now. So let's go to the next slide then. So anybody who's on the line now will receive this ebook, Offshore Outsourcing versus Onshore Hiring, a strategic guide for AEC firms. It's a good book. It's not just a quick sales gimmicky 2-page thing that you download. It's quite full of content, and I think it's useful. It's free, so download it now if you're online, and you can have it. If you're not online now and you're hearing this recording later, just email me or contact me on LinkedIn, and we'll send you a copy. That's not a problem as well. We issue ebooks. I think we issue 2 a month. I think it is, or I'm not sure it's 1 or 2 a month. I think it's 2 a month, and then we issue a white paper once a month. We have a lot of interesting ebooks and white papers coming out right now about AI and architecture, about intelligent resourcing. I think about professional talent, about our tiers, about Latin America as well, and the advantages, especially for our USA clients, but even for the UK. The time zones are not that bad. It can work for the UK as well. But our primary goal when we started was Latin America for the USA. But now we're seeing with the time zone differences, where there's 3 or 4 hours a day where there is an overlap, there is also opportunity for UK companies. Traditionally, we would provide from the Philippines or South Africa. South Africa, for example, in Joburg, it's only an hour or 2 hours behind the UK. It works very well. For Australia, we mainly provide from the Philippines. For America is our Latin America. So today, it's mainly targeting our USA clients, But also, I think going forward will be our UK clients, because if anybody needs Revit architects, 3D modelers, Argentina has got some of the best talent that I've been seeing for a long while, and Marcus knows where to get hold of them, which is great. So I think we'll wrap it up at that for today. And you're always welcome to email me. If you're not on LinkedIn with me, just connect or connect with Marcus on LinkedIn. We're both easy to find on LinkedIn. And we'll be more than happy to open a dialogue with you and communication and provide information. But it is something that you should be looking at. You need to work smarter, so use intelligent resourcing. The world is changing. AI is taking over. I believe we're still at the beginning of AI, and that'll be the subject of another webinar in January with a leading interior designer from Canada. But it is coming, and we should all be aware of it. And we need to prepare ourselves for what advantages and disadvantages that may bring. So I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today that's online, and for all those who are going to watch this later. For Marcus, as usual, for just being available and being our great ally there in Argentina. I look forward to coming down and seeing him next year. And yeah, so that's it for today. I think that's a wrap, guys. And until the next one, we'll call it a day. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Bye bye now. Bye, Marcus. Cheers, mate.
Thank you.